Current events in the Nordic country Sweden. The Swedish government has faced recent criticism from the opposition, led by Magdalena Andersson, for the absence of both Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson, M., and Deputy Prime Minister Ebba Busch, KD, from the Stockholm Pride Parade. Financial markets. Minister Niklas Wickman, M., defended the Prime Minister's absence and dismissed the criticism. In another domestic news story, the implementation of a new law that prioritizes children's safety over the right to contact with both parents is under scrutiny. A mother whose son was murdered by his father in 2023 has highlighted serious shortcomings in how the law is being applied. The government has also proposed that the EU suspend its trade agreement with Israel to facilitate the delivery of more humanitarian aid to Gaza. Denmark. In Denmark, the construction of the Fehmarn Belt tunnel between Denmark and Germany is facing delays, with the German railway connection reportedly at least 3 years behind schedule. Meanwhile, the Øresund Bridge celebrated its 25th anniversary with a new traffic record in the first half of 2025, demonstrating strong regional commuting and integration. In business news, construction firm MT Højgaard has been awarded a contract to build a UNICEF warehouse in Copenhagen for 1.66 billion DKK, and pharmaceutical giant Novo Nordisk is planning a large staff party for 20,000 employees. Denmark is also set to assume the presidency of the EU. Norway, in cooperation with Sweden, has established the first joint police station, an initiative that has been awarded the Nordic Association's Cooperation Prize for 2025. This underscores the strong regional cooperation on security. However, the Nordic stock market has recently experienced a downturn, with the Norwegian economy, like the Swedish one, affected by a slowdown in production. Relations with the Trump administration. The relationship between the Nordic countries and the Trump administration is characterized by complexity and strategic challenges, particularly concerning trade, security, and specific regional issues like Greenland. Trade. Under the previous Trump administration, the U.S. imposed tariffs on steel and aluminum, which led to tensions with the EU. This protectionist policy has continued to create uncertainty for Nordic exporters. Danish business association Dansk Erhverv recently published guidance for Danish companies navigating the U.S. market, where new demands from the American administration, including those related to diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) initiatives, are creating a dilemma. Companies must balance their own values and European legal requirements against new U.S. expectations. The Ukraine war and security policy. From a Swedish perspective, there has been a clear ambition to maintain transatlantic cooperation. In discussions with the Trump administration, Sweden has emphasized the importance of preserving the European security order and the transatlantic economic relationship. In response to U.S. skepticism towards NATO, the Nordic countries have initiated informal discussions on how Europe can assume greater responsibility for the alliance's defense in the coming years. This is seen as a strategy to prevent chaos in the event of a U.S. withdrawal from NATO. Greenland. Greenland has been a central and sensitive issue in the relationship between Denmark and the Trump administration. Trump's renewed interest in the U.S. taking control of Greenland triggered a political crisis in Denmark. Both the Danish and Greenlandic governments, with support from other Nordic countries and the EU, have clearly rejected the idea. The Nordic Council has expressed its full support for Greenland's right to self-determination. Trump's interest in Greenland is linked to U.S. security interests in the Arctic and access to the island's strategic raw materials.